Moses goes to Egypt and leads the Israelites out across the Red Sea and into the wilderness, where they wander for 40 years, each day waking up and not knowing what's next. They have to rely on God's provision every step of the way. They're given manna in the wilderness for their daily sustenance, and the cloud of God's presence and the pillar of fire by night leads them, they know not where, they know not how fast, they know not what direction. They wander aimlessly, day after day after day, month after month after month. Each day a new hazard, each day a new surprise, no opportunities to plan, to do long-range planning and thinking, and no certainty. Does that sound familiar to you? It sounds familiar to me. It sounds like COVID time. It sounds like living in the middle of a pandemic. Uncertainty. We live in a culture, we have lived in a culture that's expected certainty. We like to plan, we like to know what's going to happen when, with actuarial precision. Day after day after day, month after month after month, year after year after year. Our entire culture, our economy, our politics, our social life, all run on precision, all run on certainty, all run on knowing what's going to happen. But now we're in the wilderness. Now we throw that up in the air. One day we're having in-person instruction, and the next day we're going to be online. Well, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to go to online instruction only, but we don't know what's going to happen after that. And how are parents supposed to plan? What are we going to do? How are we going to manage that? Notre Dame had 80 new cases yesterday from my taping here on August 19th. August 18th, they had 80 new cases instantly. Shut down in-person instruction for 2 weeks, and nobody knows what's going to happen after that. Students have to begin to make provisional plans. What are they going to do? Are they going to be on campus through November, or are they going to have to go home? What are their parents going to do? All of us are living in this world of uncertainty day to day, not knowing what's coming next. We are in a wilderness. The Israelites were to experience the wilderness as a training ground, as a place where they encountered God and learned to depend on God for their sustenance, for their survival, for everything in a day-to-day basis. Jesus' own wilderness experience after his baptism, after he went through the waters and wandered for 40 days in the wilderness, was experiencing that radical dependence on God. And I don't want to silver line COVID. I don't want to say that it's any kind of good thing. It's a bad thing. It's a horrible thing. But in the midst of this, I'm wondering if we don't have an opportunity to learn something new about ourselves and about our relationship with God. Is it time for us to learn to be dependent on God in a day-to-day kind of way, in an our daily bread kind of way, in a don't worry about tomorrow kind of way? Tomorrow has enough trouble of its own. I came across this morning, of all things, of all times, a prayer that was posted on Facebook by Eric Masonary. Some of you know Eric, who will be watching this. He's related to some of you in our church, and he's a friend of mine. And Eric is a chaplain in Kansas, in North Newton, Kansas. And I'd like to read this poem. There are some challenging things in it for me, and things that I kind of resist a little bit. But I find it helpful for life, living life in the wilderness in which we find ourselves. This is from Mary Mrozowski. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I welcome everything that comes to me in this moment because I know it is for my healing. I welcome all thoughts, feelings, emotions, persons, situations, and conditions. I let go of my demand for security. I let go of my hunger for approval. I let go of my insistence on control. I let go of my blind desire to change any situation, condition, person, or myself. I open to the love and presence of God and the healing, action, and grace within. Amen. Lead on, O cloud of presence. Amen.